Namaste everyone and welcome to the My Dream Miss India debate. So today's topic is all about your definition of success. You know, in a lot of communities and in a lot of societies, success is defined by where you work, what you do, and how much money you make. So today we're going to talk about, is that the true definition of success? Or is it something more similar to, how you are as a human being? Is it about how you treat others? Or is it something else? So today we're going to talk with the participants of My Dream Miss India 2021 and get their thoughts and opinions about what they and how they define success. So hi, all the contestants of Miss India. How are you guys doing today?
Fabulous. How are you?
Great.
We're good.
So what we're going to do today is we're going to introduce each one of the contestants so all of you can get a chance to know who they are. And then we're going to go ahead and ask each one of the contestants to share their definition of success. So with that, Sapna, can you come ahead and introduce yourself, please?
Sure, Kunjita. Hi, Kunjita. You're looking so pretty.
Thank you.
Namaste, everyone. I'm Sapna Mishra, and I'm a proud mother of two beautiful young kids. One of my kids is like 4 years old and one is like newborn. So pretty much she's barely 4 months. And professionally, I work in IT as a team lead. And I'm very passionate about fashion. Obviously, I love fashion, love walking on the ramp. So yeah, that's why I think this. I learned about this platform, and that's why I'm here. I think this is a very, very great opportunity that we have, and thanks to Rashmi ji and Janak ji for providing us this platform. And I'm just glad for this opportunity to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Sapna. Thank you so much. Next, if we can have Ashreya.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ashreya, coming in from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Harvard undergrad, currently looking to pursue my master's at University of Pennsylvania, as well as doing my legal degree from the University of London. Professionally, I am an operations executive for 3 IT firms that I work with simultaneously in the San Francisco Bay Area, as well as locally. And I am beyond excited to be part of this wonderful, wonderful event. We've already had so many fabulous events thus far, and I'm sure it's going to continue to be that way. It's great to be in a room of such gorgeous women inside and out, and I'm very excited to have this opportunity. Thank you, Rashmi ji, Janak ji, and of course the entire My Dream team. And thank you very much, Kunjita, for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ashreya. Can we have Tanvi next?
Hello, I'm Tanya Vayu. I'm 14 years old and I'm from Virginia. And I'm so excited to be starting this journey with My Dream TV. And yeah.
That's exciting. And so Tanvi, what do you do? What is your dreams? What are your passions?
So I go to the Academies of Sciences, and my ambition, my goal is to become a cardiologist. And I also want to open up a school in India for kids in poverty, and I want to teach them about medicine and like the whole like science field. And I just want to let everyone know that they can be anything they want to be.
That's fantastic, and that's a great message. Thank you, Tanvi. I'm sure you're an inspiration to millions of other girls out there. So thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Yes.
Next, if we can have Prashant.
Hi everyone, my name is Prashant Kuranjakar, and I work as a IT professional in a geospatial field, and I live in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And this topic was, I already had like a debate day before yesterday, I guess, but this topic was close to my heart, so I thought like let's join in, and we are taking part in this pageant like in a couple category.
Awesome. Thank you, Prashant.
Yeah.
Next, if we can have Murli.
Hey, hi, Kunjita.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great.
So, yeah, hi, everyone. So my name is Murli Xavier. I'm 28 years old. I'm working in Toronto, Canada, and I'm a software developer. So when I saw this about, the Miss India contest by Mydream Entertainment, I was beyond happy, to see like how they are kind of involving people of all shapes and sizes, irrespective of any, height regulation or something like that, which is like, which is basically the main purpose of a beauty pageant, because they want all the girls to come out there and feel confident in their own skin. And that was one of the reason I want to be here, because from childhood I've always felt that girls who are in beauty pageant, they have a different kind of confidence. It's not just about being beautiful on the outside, it's about inspiring other girls who don't feel enough, to come forward and make them feel pretty. So yeah, so happy to be part of this team. Yeah, looking forward to the debate.
Absolutely, and that's a great point you made, Merly. Especially with this platform, I think that's something very unique about, the pageant that My Dream Entertainment does. They always allow everyone, regardless of size, age, or gender, and everybody is allowed in, and everyone's given the ability and opportunity to share their talents. So, well, very well said. Thank you, Merly.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Next, if we can have Nisha.
Everyone. My name is Dr. Nisha, and I'm based in Massachusetts. By passion, I love to work in medicine field and just take care of stuff. And also, I'm passionate about education, women empowerment. I really want to think about certain things which I've seen as growing up, like as in India, like you've seen a lot of educated women by force or by choice. Like they get to stay home, taking care of families and kids. I want to create a platform for such women where they can have an opportunity, they can share the story, and a networking, a social group can help support those girls and women and get them back to their feet where they belong to, and just be out there in the world and just conquer, whatever they wanted to do. So I'm really excited to be part of this team, and I'm really excited and nervous at the same time. But yeah, I'm excited here.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for that. This platform is amazing in that sense that you're able to, experience and share your ideas and your thoughts and your passions. And, My Dream is a platform where no matter what, if you share your dreams, they do come true. So, we'll all work together and we'll make sure, Dr. Nisha, that all of your dreams and passions come true. And we'll make sure that, we'll get to that goal of being able to share those charity events. So thank you so much. And also, I think we also have Vaishnavi with us. Hi, Vaishnavi.
Hi, Kunjita ji.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Hey, everyone. So my name is Vaishnavi Ramaraju. I'm from Texas, Dallas. I'm competing in Mrs. category for Miss India 2021. So coming to myself, I'm an automation engineer by profession. And coming to my passion, I have a lot of things, like I love singing, I love dancing, I'm learning Kathak, and also I do some paintings. Coming to my nature, it's like soft and kind-hearted. So I love to socialize with the people. That's where you'll get to know about everyone, and that's where your confidence level build, talking with everyone, knowing each other. And this platform, I really love beauty pageants. That's the reason I am participating for the second time in Miss India 2021. In the starting, I participated in Miss South Asia World 2019. So I'm so excited to be part of it, and I thank Mrs. Rashmi ji and Janet ji for giving all the ladies such a beautiful platform. I mean, without, as Kunjita ji said, without thinking of age or the gender or size or whatever. So thank you, everyone.
Absolutely. Thank you, Vaishnavi. So with that, now that we've met all of our contestants and all the participants of My Dream Miss India, we'll go ahead and start with the topic of what is the true definition of success? So Merly, what do you feel is a true definition of success? What are your thoughts around that?
Yeah, thank you. So to me, what success is happiness. Like we all do a lot of different things in life, we all have a different kind of dream, apart from like even, present Miss India competition, we all have other work we do, we have a career in a different path as well. But, ultimately we always think of, growing up the ladder. We want to do this, we want to do that, we want to buy that, the list is endless, but at the end of the day, like if you're not happy, I don't think it doesn't matter. Right. So if you ask a small kid, what is success? They'll kind of say, I want the doll, I want the chocolate, I want to go to Disneyland. Right. Or if you ask somebody like a guy in a big, in a corporate company, what he want to do, he will say he wants promotion. Right. But ultimately what they actually mean is, to them, it brings happiness. Right. So to me, success, to be in short, is happiness. And that happiness comes when we have set a goal for ourselves, and when we think we achieve that goal, we really feel so content with ourselves, right? So I think that is happiness. But right now I'm 28 years old, so I feel I have seen the world quite enough. I feel another one thing apart from happiness really matters, that is a very good health. If you don't have health and happiness, whatever you have in this world doesn't matter. Even if you have success, if you think you have a lot of money, you can't enjoy it without health. You can't do anything. So to me, short, happiness and health are actually real success.
No, that's absolutely true, and I agree with that as well. I think you can't achieve anything without health, right? If you don't have good health, then there's no way for you to be able to achieve any type of success or work towards that success. So very good point. Right. And what are your thoughts around, when societies sometimes define success being defined by where you work or how much you make? What are your thoughts around that?
I actually did my, university like in back home, like in India. So, whenever you want to make a career choice, I know like everybody will have an opinion. The society will have an opinion about it. Like, especially even entertainment industry, not all the Indian parents are very encouraging, towards that. They saying, oh, what do you get out of it? This is their first thing. I don't think even like now the times are changing definitely. But if you ask like before 10 years, when parents don't understand what passion means, they know only career, right? You finish your education, you go to a job. They don't understand, like, unless the passion doesn't pay you, they don't respect what passion, whatever you want to do. Like even say you want to be a dancer, they say, what? I mean, what do you want? They ask you again, because they can't understand that when a person says she wants to be a dancer, because society can't accept it. So I feel, even if you're a doctor, let's say, you're a pediatrician, there will be somebody in the society saying, oh, you're not a heart specialist. Oh, you're not a cancer specialist. So people will always have an opinion. By people, I mean society. They'll always have an opinion on whoever you are, whatever you are. And I feel like if you become successful, they always say the society who hated you, who commented about you, they will come and they will try to be nice to you. So I don't think that really matters. But when sometimes, this society which is around us, sometimes they do say, like, for example, I want to start a business. Right. And I say that is for me, my happiness. But people are coming and advising me, the same society. I need not obey them, but I can at least give it a little bit of thought, because not everybody in the society is going to say bad or going to be against you. Sometimes they do make a little bit of sense. But most of them, like 95% of the advices given by the society, trust me, they don't mean anything at the end of the day, because we are all so unique. What I like, you may not like, right? And for me, what is happiness right now, if you ask me, I would say I want to have pani puris. That is happiness. And for the other person, it may sound so silly, but that's how humans are. We are so unique. So I don't think, society should matter to us. But I'm not saying don't, pay attention to them. Yes, pay attention to them, but don't react to it. Listen to it, observe it, see if it is useful for you. You don't feel that is right, just ignore. And yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Marley. That's very good. That's a very good point. That's absolutely correct. And Sapna, what about you? What do you think about the whole topic and about what Marley said?
Kunjita, Marley, I think really put it very well. She has put up some very good points. The last thing that she was saying, like about society. So in terms of society's opinion, I would say, society is like, the song, logo ka kuch to log kahenge. So it's like no matter what you do, they're always going to say something or the other. So for today's topic. So let's say like, I think we're talking about some degree, whether a doctor, being a doctor or being an engineer is important. So I kind of like, I would share my own personal experience on this. Like earlier, I just think differently and my thoughts did change. So actually, when I was a small girl and I was like in college, I was in high school actually, and I was like looking for, like I was seeing my opportunities, what I want to do in future. So at that time, my passion was for fashion always. And what I wanted to do was like, I wanted to be a fashion designer. And I also gave an entrance exam, and I wanted to go into textile engineering for 4 years, do that, and then get into the fashion industry, become a fashion designer. And I was all prepared, I was all ready for it. But I think my family was not. And at that point, I never got the support from it. So like, I mean, my other relatives and all, they would tell my parents, like, why is she even trying to pursue this? Like, what are people going to say? Everybody is doctor, engineer in our family. Like our family is academically very strong. So they'll say, oh, why does your daughter want to go in like a fashion industry? Like, what's she going to do? I mean, is she even going to make enough money to feed herself or feed her family? Like, and what are going to people say back in the village? Like, they'll say, oh, your daughter is a darji, like a tailor, So for them, like, I mean, none of the other profession matters. Only, especially in Indian society, doctors and engineers, only these are the two labels that they look at it. So yeah, almost like half of my age, I would say, half of my life, I would say, I kind of regretted like, oh God, I wanted to be a fashion designer. I wanted to be that. Probably my life would have been much different if I did that. But that did recently change, and I'll say why. I would say, but now I think differently though. Now I think a person can be all-rounded. I think a good education is very important. I'm not saying that because now I have kids and now I want my kids to be like, get a professional degree. But based on my own personal experience, I would say, personally, like I really have faced a lot of challenges in my life, and life has not been easy. Definitely, it's not easy for anybody. But I mean, in the tough times, I mean, I think my professional degree did help me get back on my feet. It helped me support myself. And it did, I mean, it does help a lot of way. I mean, it gives you the confidence, it lets you support yourself. And I mean, you can come back, you can be on your own. And that does change me. I'm today definitely then I thank my parents and thank God they made me an engineer. And having a professional degree did help. So yeah, I would say one should definitely get a good education, a professional degree, and one can be all-rounded. Definitely follow your passion. And just because we are becoming a doctor in engineering doesn't mean we cannot follow. I mean, in today's world, everybody's doing everything. I mean, just in our pageant itself, we have doctors, we have engineers, we have lawyers, we have people from all the fields. So yes, do focus on academically, get a good education, and then I would say follow your passion. That's my opinion, but in terms of the job or in terms of degree. But talking about success, that's very subjective actually. So when we say what is success to us, so like Myrtle, sorry, I'm sorry about. So like Myrtle said, very true. Like success is like happiness. I totally agree, and I believe the same thing. That success means happiness and being contented, thinking you are enough, you have enough. By that, we cannot say money is not important again. I mean, because money is important. So say, for example, there's a boy, there's a boy on the road, there's a boy on the streets, right? And he's hungry and he doesn't have anything and no one to help him. I mean, at this point, if we preach him about good values or being culture, I mean, it would be not good for him, right? I mean, at this point, he needs money. If we give him money, that could feed him, right? So I would say money is necessary for survival, but then how much money, right? I mean, people keep making money and keep, just like, like you said, if somebody in a corporate world, if you go and ask him, no matter what post he is, he will say, what do you need? What's going to make you happy? And he's going to say, another promotion and another promotion and another promotion. So that's the thing. I mean, no, it's not that I'm not saying that you should not work for another promotion. Definitely work for it, but just running behind it. is not going to make you happy. So at a given point, I would say one has to be happy and contented with what they have. So I would say happiness, and happiness for me is success.
And Sapna, you did bring up a very good point with society influencing decisions as a child, as people are growing up. In what career they go into. For example, with your personal experience, where you wanted to do something in the fashion world, and your parents influenced you, and your family and the society influenced you to go into the engineering realm, which obviously was a good choice for you, and was something that helped build your building blocks to give you the ability to now explore the fashion world and explore that fashion area. So I think that's a good point. There are some people that sometimes can benefit from that. And then I think there are some cases where sometimes if the child is very passionate about fashion and is really not wanting to go into any other realm, I think at that point society and parents should probably provide a little bit more support to those children, so that way they can succeed and actually make that their foundational block, right? Because there's so many other fashion designers out there like Manish Malhotra, Sabyasachi, who make a lot of money and their survival is fashion, and they make enough where they can feed their families. And it's really not so much of a career anymore where it's a side career. You can make one of those your mainstream careers as well. So thank you so much for sharing your own personal experience and your own personal journey on how, that impacted you, and how that, in your case, it did actually benefit you. And I'm glad that, you're now part of the My Dream Miss India pageant. So now you can also fulfill all of your fashion dreams. And, hopefully we'll have you as the next designer, and we'll all be wearing your clothes. That would be so cool. But I really appreciate you sharing that with all of us, because I think that's what this platform does, and that's what the debate is about today, right? Is how we can all share our experiences and our opinions and thoughts with each other, so we can just continue to build blocks and hopefully help change society, and hopefully influence others who are watching this to understand that what definition of success is. Like so far, we've heard from the two contestants, what the definition of success is truly within yourself. It may not rely or be dependent on society or anybody else that's around you, because only one single person can define what true success is, right? So with that, let's move to Tanvi. What are your thoughts around this topic, and around, the definition of success and the influence that society has in, defining that success for you, or especially with defining where you go from a career perspective?
So I'm 14, so I've barely experienced life yet. But from the little that I have experienced, I also agree with Murli and Sapna that success is happiness. And so like success is happiness because like you're not supposed to work for someone else. Like you have to work for yourself. Self-care is really important. And I think happiness truly comes from yourself. And so, yeah, and so, sorry. So also they've said about like society and the typical stereotypes of how Indians are expected to become doctors, engineers, like make a six figure salary and stuff. And I don't agree with that. I think success is what you truly want, your true passion. You have to follow your own passion, and you're not supposed to live pleasing others. You're supposed to live pleasing yourself. And I also think that success is making an impact on others. And right now, I think I'm successful. I got into the Academy of Sciences recently, and that's been my like goal since like I was little. And because successful isn't like always like the ending. Like the journey is also success. And what I do to feel successful, like being successful gives me happiness. And what I do is I put a little goal every day for myself. So at the end of the day, when I reach that goal, I feel successful for that day, and I feel content and happy with myself. Yeah.
That's actually a really good point. 2 points that I'd like to really appreciate you bringing and touching on is, that daily goal. I think that's important for everyone to be able to do, because defining success for a long term is great. But I think exactly like you said, being able to achieve those success on a daily basis just keeps motivating you, right? To achieve new things and do new things. Like for me, after our first session that we had together, where we talked about, the My Dream pageant, and we all sat together and introduced each other to all of us, and we kind of got a chance to learn about each other. You guys actually inspired me to, for the first time, go live on Instagram. I'm not a social media person, but I'm slowly trying to learn all of that and kind of get into that realm. And, I think achieving something on a daily basis and kind of having goals, like I'd like to do something small, whether it's, eat this food or try something new or go do this, or, whatever it is, small or big. I think that really builds our own self-esteem and makes ourselves confident. And then again, like you said, it just it makes yourself proud. So at the end of the day, when you go to sleep, you're like, oh, I achieved something today. I did something
Yeah.
good.
It gives you a reason to move on.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the more you keep pushing yourself, the more successful you'll feel, the more proud of yourself you'll feel.
Exactly. No, that's absolutely true. And I think the second point that you brought up, which was, even though you're so young, you can already see that you've learned so much. And what you said about the journey as being a success, I think that's absolutely, a really good point, because the journey does help define success, because everyone's journey is going to be unique. My journey is going to be unique from everyone else's journey. And I think our journeys is what defines us as human beings, right? It's what we learn and what we gather from our own independent journeys. And then when we all meet together and express those journeys and share what we've been through and what we've achieved or what we've experienced, just adds to that additional journey and forms a larger success than just our own, right? So I think those are great points. And Tanvi, for you just being 14 and for you to share those, two big things, I think that shows a lot about you and your journey and how much you've really grown in just 14 years. So I'm super
Thank you
excited for
so
you.
much. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, Prashant, what are your thoughts around, success and, the societal definitions of how society defines success and what society says a child should do or not do, or where they should go from a career perspective?
So I'm a very practical person. I'm just gonna go what other panelists says. I'm gonna go in a practical mode. Uh, so when I was young, like, and until my 10th standard, I was very dumb student. But I was very all-rounder. Like, I was taking part in every other school activities, sports competition, musical instrument. I played drum, bongo, congo, and whistling a lot of songs and all. And until 10th, like, I thought like I'm gonna be making my career in orchestra because I was playing a lot of instruments and all. But then I remember my heated argument with my father, like, because my 10th board exams were not good. And one of my teacher was from Moscow, and he said like he can be a good engineer and push him to become an engineer. And I remember my heated argument with my father at that time, and glad that we had that argument. And from that point, like, I built up my interest in maths and biology, like, and all, like, to become engineer and doctor. But until when I reached to the 12th, I had like more interest in engineering and all. But up when I came to that point, like when I entered into engineering and all, so after one after other, like, I was getting those my goals, like, okay, now I have to fulfill my father's dream, like, just to become an engineer. I'm just gonna become an engineer. But then when the society, right, for me, like, society came in such a good way that everyone wanted to go to US, like, to become, like, get masters or PhD and all. Then again my thought process got changed over there. Like, when I was engineering, apart from my engineering, I was doing dance competition. I was a like the eternity dance group member. I was going to other states for competition and all. But my friend circle and my society was such a great, like, they were discussing like every day, like, okay, this university is getting like what kind of scholarship and all. So that changes my whole mindset, because my friend circle, my society was good. Like, otherwise I would not have been there, like in that engineering school. And then I start developing like the at that time, like I didn't have that much money and all, but I ended up getting into the job and all. But and then I got the DART scholarship from Germany, and then from there I got the scholarship from NASA funded project for my further education in US. But that is like all for me now. I think like it's great that I had like that discussion with my father, and he pushed me. Like other people were also influencing my decision. No, orchestra is not going to give you anything. You just have to become an engineer or doctor. And now I'm glad that that society influenced my decision. My father influenced my decision, and my teachers influenced my decision. That they noticed something in me that helped me out to make my career stable now. But at some point, right, I don't wanted to get promotion. I think somebody said that, but I reached to the level that I don't wanted to go from. If the my life is going to take me further, I'm just going to go with that pace. But from this point, I'm just going to consider my goal to become very healthy and very happy with my family, because I lost that time with my family when I was doing master's, PhD and all. I lost my time with my family. And now my another goal is to make myself healthy, like have good cholesterol leveling in a limit and all the health parameters. That is my another goal. If I achieve that goal, I will become more happy and healthy. And also like when I say happiness, like I wanted to spend more time with my family. That is another goal like which I wanted to achieve, and that is what it comes to me as a success part. And I'm glad that I didn't choose my orchestra dream or anything. But now I reached to that level that I am whistling a lot of songs and all for my own pleasure, right? And when I lost my son, like in 2017, like I had like I'm not an emotional guy, but when something happened to you, like it really screw it up, like. But whistling the song in when I was driving the car and all, that relieves my pressure and all. So I concentrated my next goal, which makes me happy and which makes me become successful in my life, like to whistling the song. And I'd also like do a lot of script writing and all. I sold my some of my scripts to some small universities. So those kind of passion which I had like in the beginning, like playing bongo congo, like we have like the like the Indian cultural event, like and there I played bongo and congo. So those that part which I wanted to achieve like when I was in 10th grade, now I am trying to achieve that, to make myself happy, healthy and very successful. And I wanted to have that goals achieved one by one, like after this point of time. But I'm really grateful, like I know like some people might not agree that sometimes like society influences your decision, but it's for me it's good thing happened to me that society influenced my decision. I had a very good career in my life, and nobody in 10th grade expected that like I would achieve that much successful life, like with having a NASA scholarship and all. And whenever I go back to India, to my hometown, and the guys who were in the orchestra team and they achieved like orchestra, but they didn't go that far because there are a lot of people in that orchestra and all. And they always still tells me like, Prashant, you have really good successful life, and that makes me happy. But I wish they would have been done the same thing, because my teacher asked them to do the same thing as well, but they didn't do that. There was a movie like Three Idiots and all, they went for their own passion. But for me, like I glad that my father had that discussion with me, and society helped me to change that decision.
Yeah, and I think I can relate with you a lot, Prashant, because while you're growing up, you got influenced by your teachers, your parents. They saw something in you that was different that you didn't see within yourself. And I think sometimes the society and your loved ones can definitely influence you in the right direction. And then I think there are times for other kids where if their passion and their talents are so extreme, where sometimes pushing them away from that passion and from that talent and driving them to the educational side sometimes does hurt them. I think in your case, like you said, it it really did help because you were able to build that foundation, just like we were talking about earlier. And I think with me, it was the opposite. So it wasn't when I was growing up, because obviously, coming from an Indian background, same thing with everyone on the call. My parents instilled me to make sure that I have a job and a career that allows me to have some sort of stability, so that way I can pursue whatever my passions and dreams were. My thing was I was always less confident about myself in like the world of fashion, modeling, doing those types of creative roles, dancing, those are singing, those are things that I love to do. And I did them as a child, and I always got rewarded for that when I was a child. My parents would encourage me, society would encourage me, but as I got more and more into school, I realized that one, I didn't have time for all those extracurricular activities. And then two, it became more of a self confidence thing where I just didn't feel like I had the confidence to get myself to such heights where that would ultimately become my career. And so I kind of drove myself away from that creative side and got myself into the educational one. And I think, this COVID environment, for my particular experience, has really taught me to look a little bit deeper into myself and to kind of overcome some of those fears or some of those weaknesses that I had, and some of the strengths that I really needed, and kind of build on those weaknesses to make them my strengths. And that's what got me to, discovering Mydream platform, and, taking their hand and allowing them to encourage me, and my husband's support encouraging me, and in doing the things that I've always wanted to do. So, I completely agree with you, Prashant. I think, education obviously is the number one thing. And I think that's very important for every child and for every person to have. So that way they can ultimately have a sense of stability, have a sense of calm, for them to then pursue what they ultimately want to do, as a hobby or as a dream, or fulfill their dreams, right? Because if you don't have that, then it makes it a little hard. Yeah, Prashant, go ahead.
So I also wanted to add, like, one thing, that when you have to balance your passion versus your successful life with your education and job and all, right? How much confidence you have in your passion and how much risk you want to take.
Absolutely.
That's what, like, my teacher told me, and I was not even confident, like, whether I will be a great musician or not. And I don't wanted to always wanted to take a calculated risk. And then I told, like, how you explained, another panelist, that Manish Malhotra and another designer's name and all, right? How many people they can become Manish Malhotra, right?
Yeah.
So that's what, like, I gave, like, an example to my father, like, oh, this guy become a great musician at that time, like I was in 1995, I'm talking about. This guy become a great musician. This guy is such a good Congo player. I wanted to become like him. And then my father asked me, like, how many people were going to become like him? Like, and I was stunned at that time. Then I said, like, I don't have the confidence in my dream, whatever the passion, and I can't balance that, like, with respect to my studies and all. But it's good that I got my more consciences, like okay, towards the studies, maths, engineering and all, and problem solving approach and all those things. So that really helped me to build out my career. And now I am focusing my health and become happy with my family, and also achieve, like, my whistling the song, and try to create a YouTube channel, or just for my pleasure, not like to earn the money or something like that. That's what, and writing the script for the movies and all, that's I wanted to achieve, and all those things.
Oh, that's great. Well, we'll definitely be excited to see what your talent is with your wife during the pageant. I'm excited to see what you're gonna do.
Yeah.
So next, let's go to Ashreya. So what are your thoughts in regards to the topic? And, you can also share your opinion on any of the responses that you've heard so far from any of the contestants.
Sure. So first off, it's great to hear what everyone has to say on this. Obviously, it's a very multifaceted topic in and of itself, so it's great to hear what everyone has to say. So I'm going to take the discussion in a slightly different path. So far, we've had a lot of people discuss, what does success mean on an individual level? I kind of want to talk about it in a little bit more granular sense of what is success as a definition. So one of my favorite quotes from Bon Jovi is that success is falling 9 times, but getting up 10. So I think that kind of does really relate to how we apply the concept of success on a daily basis. I mean, like everyone has mentioned so far, there are different levels to what success really can mean in daily interactions, in larger level goals, and then in life goals. So there are 3 separate ways that we can actually try to measure that. But my background currently professionally is in IT. So for me, one thing that we use to measure the amount of success per se in a project is a KPI dashboard. We measure our key performance indicators throughout to say what kind of metrics are we tracking, what kinds of measures can we really take to make sure that this does carry through successfully the project. I don't really think it's very different when you're applying it to our daily lives as individuals. I think it's kind of important to have that sense of innate metrics to be measured, to see things like everyone has mentioned, different kinds of factors. Like Prashant mentioned health, a few other people have mentioned things like happiness, which is a little bit more of a subjective matter, but things that we can actually kind of combine to be one fruitful endeavor. I think that endeavor in and of itself would be success. So one kind of aspect to consider there is, so Prashant mentioned Three Idiots as a point. So one specific dialogue that's very, very important to remember from that movie. I don't know if I can get the Hindi version absolutely right, so I'm gonna translate it vaguely. Vaguely translated, he says that if you chase excellence, success will follow you automatically. So really speaking, that's kind of a primary focus point for us when we're trying to excel as ourselves in everyday endeavors. What are we actually trying to achieve? Because success is pretty immeasurable, but excellence is more measurable, because that has to do more with achieving a specifically driven set of metrics. And I think that that's kind of the set of goals, or that's the more encompassing word that we're trying to look for through a lot of what we've been saying so far. I think another thing to kind of note is the definition of success. It's changing at every point in life. For me, if you asked me 10 years ago, my definition of success would have been vastly different than what it's going to be today, and even more different than what it's going to be 10, 15, 20 years from now. I do think that we can't really put one cohesive definition to it for an all-around achievement of every individual. But I do think it is a very personalized entity that you can kind of apply in and of itself to each individual. So we talked about money, for instance. Monetary value, it can't be ignored in the modern world, like Sapna mentioned. It's definitely an important factor to consider in terms of sustenance, in terms of survival, existence, and at some level, entertainment and some other aspects of living life in different sorts of ways. But a monetary value is associated with fiducial ambition. It's not exactly success. I think there are different terms that we would apply there. So if we're talking about society's expectation of doctor, engineer, lawyer, etc., I wouldn't really say that the monetary price tag associated with it is what makes that profession a successful one or not. I think it's the contribution to society that really does make it more of a success factor. The monetary price tag comes associated with it because of a few different things. First of all, because of the amount of time invested into achieving one of those professions, as well as, of course, looking at the amount of driven comparison of contribution that you see at different levels, whether it's preservation of life, whether it's creation of life, different kinds of entities that perform different activities on a daily basis. I don't think society necessarily is programmed to consider success to be an overall term that can be applied to one sector or one set of individuals for doing a particular set of things. So one point that I wanted to mention about education, which is one point that was brought up, is it's in and of itself, again, a multifaceted term. We have trade schools, we have vocations, we have so many different types of ways to achieve a certain profession, to achieve certain benchmarks in those professions, that there's no way that we can say one form of education is truly substantial or universal. Education could even just be experience working. I think that a huge learning experience for me was when I was interning at a law firm, because that's what really inspired my passion to continue into pursuing law and corporate law as a result. But I do think that when we combine these factors of our education being a multifacetious term, our definition of success itself being a multifacetious term, and then looking, of course, at the relevance of what our fiducial ambitions are compared to what our lifetime ambitions are, we can really get a comprehensive sense of what success is for each individual person. It's almost formulaic. You put A plus B together to be able to get your definition. It's not really something that it's a very fun experience to find out what that formula is for you as you progress through life. And I would definitely say that it's a little bit of a different twist than what everyone has been saying so far, in the sense that I think that it's more of a fluid term than it is a fixated term to be pointed upon.
That's a really good perspective and a very good point, Asharya. Especially with the complexity that you brought into those terminologies. It's absolutely correct. Exactly like some of the other contestants had said, the definition of success is so specific to an individual that it's not really measurable. But what is measurable, like you said, is excellence. And the quote that you brought in from Three Idiots is absolutely true, because if you have excellence, then you can reach a certain magnitude of success and reach your goals and stuff, right? So I think that's a really good point. And, coming from an IT background myself, I also come from a medical background as well. So I think being able to relate to both of those items that you talked about, I think just brings in a different perspective of definition of success, and how society influences it. Because you're 100% right. These careers that do have monetary tags attached to them that are higher than some of the other job lines, it is because of the amount of time that you have to put into these careers in order for you to get that specific title or be considered a doctor, or be considered an engineer. It takes a lot more education and a lot more ability to have to go through those years of schooling and the rigid courses that you have to go through. And there's some people that are cut out for that, and there's some people that are not.
Absolutely.
Those who are cut out for it, that's fantastic. But then for those who are not cut out, it doesn't mean that they're any lesser. Like you said, it doesn't mean that they're considered any lesser than those that have gone through those rigid courses. It's just the monetary tags that are associated with those titles are exactly like you said, are actually a reward for the amount of time that you spent within your school, right? Like for doctor, for example, I mean, it's not something that you can do in 4 years. It takes close to 16 years, after post-grad for you to be able to actually go and start doing things. And so I think it's just appreciating that level of time that someone has put into their career or their passion, and it's almost a reward in that sense. So that's a very unique perspective that you brought forward. And I mean, coming into this, I never even thought about that. You always think about, well, people are pushing you to become a doctor or become an engineer because of the monetary terms that come along with it. But that twist that you added to that particular title and that particular career is actually very unique, and I appreciate you bringing that forward.
Of course, thank you very much.
Yeah. So Dr. Nisha, what are your thoughts about this whole topic and the societal determinations as to where people go and how people choose their careers, and your definition of success, and how you relate to some of the participants, or don't relate to some of the comments that the participants made?
Sure. First of all, I'm really glad to hear all the comments and all the conversation we're having right now. Everybody has a unique story that they bring with themselves on this platform. And definitely, like, everybody has their own stories and success and failures in life. And for me, success means to have a purpose in life, to be able to live up to the purpose, to dream for the purpose, and to be able to fulfill the dream is my success measurement. So to be very honest, so when growing up, I always thought, like, in terms of society, to be a successful person, you have to be either a doctor or an engineer or maybe an astronaut or be in NASA and all that stuff. And so I ended up being in nursing, and nursing kind of like when you are a nurse and back home, like, it's a different concept altogether. And society did influence a lot in the terms as in like, oh, you're a nurse, like what do you do in all the sense. So I just wanted to, and growing up, again, as I, through my career and to my different roles, I wanted to prove that it's just not nursing. It's just something, it's more than that. And I went for my master's, I went for my degree and doctorate. And now people are there out there who really want to, just look up to you, and just because you sell what you are, you can explain what you do, and somebody has to do the job. Somebody has to take care of other things other than doctors and engineers. So to do things par excellence is what your success is, and to be able to influence society. And I'm definitely saying again, society has played a great role in shaping me who I am today, because their perception of things and what I want to believe in is kind of goes hand in hand. If they wouldn't have questioned me on my profession, on my career, on me being as a person and unique, I had nothing to prove on. So I kept on believing that existence, that if I had to do something, if I do something, I had to do it to the par with excellence. Just there's nothing else can stop you. If you can do your best in whatever you do and can influence people out there and society in large, and where you can definitely just go back and educate them back more again on what they think. It's not the way it is. It's not in doctors, engineers who run the world. It's everybody else around us, even janitor, say for example, for the housekeeping, for example, for the social workers around us, or for, say for example, even for the grocery people like out there, like without them nobody can survive. So everybody has an important role, and everybody is unique in this world. For me also, success means being satisfied in whatever you do, have a goal in your life, a short term and a long term. Of course, short term today right now is just to be able to be here, sit here peacefully without children beside you, and just be able to talk freely. And long term is just thinking about something that you want to really achieve on. You want to focus, you really focus about something. And as I always say, success has many fathers and failures is an orphan. And everybody has to learn when they fall, as Shreya was mentioned, like you had to fall many times to be able to stand up and put your head up and just walk further in life. So society definitely shapes us, but again, it's up to you. How do you want to take and perceive those comments and those comments and those whatever they say about you? But you it's up to you about your as a person, how you're going to accept those comments and shape yourself up from them. So just disregard whatever things brings you down, and just put yourself up high, put your chin high all the time, and just walk like a queen.
Absolutely. That's a very good point, and I think that's an important thing for all of us to remember here, not just those on this call today, and not just those participating in this debate, but I think all the participants of My Dream Miss India. I think all of you guys are queens and kings within your hearts. It's just a matter of, showcasing that and sharing that with the world, because regardless of whether you wear a crown or you don't wear a crown, that's not what really defines a queen, right? A queen is actually defined by those who are willing to influence others, those who are willing to help others. And I think that's really important, for all of us to actually feel and truly believe that within ourselves, is that we're all kings and queens or princesses or princes within our own hearts. And it doesn't have to be something that you don't need that queen behind your name, or you don't need that official title for you to feel that way, or to prove yourself to be that person. It's really about how you feel deep down inside. So absolutely correct, Dr. Nisha. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
And then Vaishnavi, how about you? What do you think about the topic and all of the comments that we've heard so far with this topic?
Yeah, so I heard like a lot of things from these people saying what is success, and I totally agree with everyone. It's about like individual perspective, how they think. For me, success is something where which you do with love, do things with love, not just like okay, I have to earn money, I just have to do this job, I'll go behind that. Just don't go with that. I mean, in this right now in this society, a lot of people, they are facing problems with stress. Why that stress is coming? It's all because of like people running behind the success. Success is something which we need to do. We need to love that work, and we need to do that. Okay, I accept. In few cases, there are like families which are like middle class or lower class, so they definitely need money. Money is like priority. I don't say money is not important and just go with a passion. Money is important for life. Just earn money, what how much you want, I mean how much your family want. Just don't go like, okay, now I got an apartment, I want to go with a villa. No, I got a villa, now I want to go with a bigger one. Just don't go like that. Success means something which you are doing with your heart. I mean the work which you are doing with your heart, not just like thinking I mean going beyond every person. Like if that person is like pursuing engineering, in my home they say like, okay, she's doing engineering, you have to join engineering. Not only me, in every family they say like, okay, you go to engineering, you will be done in 4 years and you will be achieving a degree certificate. Just go to work and you will get a job and you will start earning the money. So for me it is like, okay, it's like robotic, I think. I know I'll become a mother, even maybe I'll think like that when I become a mother. But at right now, what I think is like, okay, whatever you are telling to your children, that's not good. Okay, they have to learn. I mean, I'm a girl. In my home, nobody taught me like you have to go and you have to do engineering, you have to do doctorate. Nobody taught me. I saw my home, I saw my family. What is my family? Okay, what support do I need to give them, at what extent? So I pursued my engineering, I get into a job and I'm earning good enough money and I'm supporting my family. This is what for an extent I had my success. Now coming to success which I want, I always wanted to go beyond fashion, singing, dancing. Also I wanted to get into different dancing classes, learn different types of dancing. So I never got the chance. I was always bad, and that created a lot of stress in me. Not only in me, I nowadays I see a lot of teenagers. They are just if you say no for their work, they'll just go and do suicide. No, just think for a while. Why the family is saying that? Okay, why can't I do both the things? I'll support. I'll listen to the family. I'll pursue the engineering, and also I'll go with my passion and I'll do the work which I wanted. And I agree with Swapna, Ashriya, Prashant. Prashant said like, no, I am a practical man. I want to, I listen to my father and I perceived my engineering. I got a job, and yes, I accept that. So after some extent, when you achieved and when you are settled, then just go with your passion also. Because till now whatever you did is like, it's like a stress for you. You didn't do with love, you just went with the flow. Whatever everyone is doing, you are just going with the flow. Don't go with the flow, just do what you want. That's what success is for me. And also as Ashriya said, success is not like it's not measurable. You have success in day to day life, you have success in like short terms or long terms. you know that is also like true every day. Like for a woman who doesn't drive and she's learning driving, yeah, she made success. And for a person who they don't even have a home, they build a home, yes, the man is success and succeeded in his life. So it's like from small things to a bigger extent. As Prashant said, my father told like when I don't exactly remember. He said like regarding the Manish Malhotra. Yes, why can't you become a Manish Malhotra? You can become a Manish Malhotra if you try hard. If you're working in an IT for 8 hours and you are done with the job and you are getting money for every month, but to become Manish Malhotra, everyone will go in that that way. There are a lot of people who will go in that way. If you are like sitting and if you are trying for 8 hours or 4 hours, I'll do with a passion. No, you will never become that. If you want to achieve that Manish Malhotra's level, you have to at least try, not 8 hours, 16 hours, 20 hours. You have to try until you get that success. So coming to doctors, engineers, I really appreciate them. It's not that easy for them to become a doctor or engineer, but just think, did you do you really love that profession? You are loving that profession? Are you not getting stressed with that? Just choose a profession where you feel like you are okay, you're happy, you're loving yourself, you're loving your job. The morning when you get up, you have to think like, yes, I have to do this. That's what success is all about, not like, oh my god, now I have to go to the work. It's like creating a stress. So get success in all the ways, whatever the people said. Achieve success, but achieve in that way where you should not have the stress, because we have only one birth. I feel that you have only one birth, you live for one time. Enjoy yourself. Don't go by like behind everyone, like that guy, oh my god, he got like 2 3 bungalows, oh my god, she became like Miss World, Miss Universe. Why? Don't compare. Success for you is like what you are thinking. Like, even though you go down and get some grocery which you never did before, that is also a success for you. So that's what I think from my side.
Absolutely. And I think that's a great point. Vaishnavi, it's not, success shouldn't be driven by any type of societal norms or anything like that. It's more about, doing something that makes you feel good. And at the end of the day, when you wake up, like you said, the next morning, if you're telling yourself, oh my God, I have to go to work, I wish I did something else in life, then at that point, maybe you need to rethink, okay, what are my true passions? What's going to make me happy? Because you're right. There are a lot of people that go, after, for whatever reason, whether it's because of society, whether it's because of money, whether it's because of different reasons, they go into a particular career, and then they're not happy. I mean, I've talked to so many doctors, so many engineers, so many successful people. I mean, there's designers, there's actors, there's musicians, I mean, in all professional worlds, there's always those individuals that have gone into that realm and then have felt like, why did I do that? So yeah, go ahead, Vaishnavi. And I'll go ahead and open up the floor. So if there's anybody else that wants to add on or share your thoughts, you can.
Sure. So, coming to my side. So for 27 years, I accomplished, like, I did my master's, I came here, I did my master's, and I joined an IT, I started working. I worked for almost like 6 years. Now I'm just like thinking, okay, am I really happy with what I'm doing? This is not what I wanted. I just wanted something else for me. So I joined the classes which I wanted from childhood. If I would have gone like in from childhood only, like parents, they will teach their children like, okay, child wants, if she's really interested in dancing, maybe she'll become a big dancer, who knows. And they can also earn money. Money is just for like living, for your survival, for your needy. I mean, whenever if you need something emergency, you need to have some money. I accept that, but don't go with like, okay, I have to earn more. Okay, I accept if you earn more money and you don't have time to spend that money, and one fine day everyone will die. So what happens to your money? Come on, just think. So that's what. So I was never happy, Kunjita. Happy with what I was doing, Kunjita, because work is profession is something I chosen for making money, but passion is something different, which I always wanted to grow in. So that's why I came here. And I am participating in this contest.
And I think Sapna, we have a few people. Ashwarya, did you want to go ahead and say something?
Yeah, so I just kind of wanted to step in and kind of give a little bit more context around this concept of monetary success. So I do definitely agree with a lot of what has been said, with everybody mentioning that solely it's not a focus point to define success. But I do kind of want to also bring forth the point that monetary earning through your passion, it's definitely a mark of your success if you've achieved it through everything through the means that we've been discussing so far, whether it's through your passion or through a pathway that brings you that stability that I was mentioning about through those metrics, like the concept of emotional happiness, of physical health, if it does come through pathways that still ensure all of those, I don't think we should shy away from considering the fact that monetary status portions or symbols or whatever you want to call them, they are still relatively indicative of success. They may not be solely suggestive, but they're definitely a component to indicate a level of success achieved. So I don't really want to shy away from that, because I know it's something that, you know, it's not politically correct to necessarily say. It's definitely not something that people typically want to address, but it is definitely, regardless, an important point to focus on, that it's not a fact to be shunned. It's definitely, it's still a mark of success in its own way. It doesn't mean that it's the only form of success, and neither does it mean by any means that it's a form of success in and of itself. But that, combined with a few other factors of how are you establishing yourself as an individual, and your identity and your health and your overall happiness, it's definitely a good combination to indicate success, I think.
Absolutely. Sapna, I think you had something as well.
Yeah, sure. Actually, I do want to add to Vaishnavi's point when she said, like, do something that you love. So yes, if you came into doctor or engineering and you don't love it, like you absolutely don't love it, you wake up every morning and you're like, gosh, this is not what I want to do, then definitely go ahead and quit it, because like we're talking about happiness. So yes, happiness is very important. And if it's not bringing happiness to you, absolutely go try out something else. That's absolutely very fair. To me, I know I came into this not by choice, but I love it. I love it. I love my job. I'm very passionate about it. I love the people I work with. And every morning I'm very excited. And that kind of also gives me the motivation to do something more about my passion as well. So I'm able to give my 100% or more to both the sides now. So it makes me happy. But yeah, if you're not happy with what you have chosen, definitely go and choose something else. And I know we talked about Sabashi and Manish Bolhotra, and since I wanted to be in the fashion industry, they're like my gurus. So definitely I wouldn't deny that if you want to excel in what you choose, you can be like a celebrity in that field. Forget about monetary income. You can be much more to that. So I would say excellence. Like if today my kid, I would equip him with everything. You know, if he comes and tells me tomorrow that, you know, he wants to be a painter, or he wants to be like a chef, you know, or anything, I would 100% support him. You know, all I would tell him is, yes, excel in it. Do your best. Give your best. That's very important. I mean, when I was growing up, probably my parents, that was a different society. That was a different age, I would say, altogether. But today it's different. Today, I think maybe in India, they still say that, you know, doctor, engineer is important. But I guess it's changing slowly. It's changing. People are accepting new fields. Even men, like I would say, I mean, that's a different discussion. I mean, not gender biased here, but yeah, even men are becoming chefs, and they're becoming celebrity chefs. So all professions are accepted equally. And definitely, I would give my child all the platform he needs to choose whatever he wants to do. I mean, it's important he chooses. And if he chooses, it will make him happy. We're talking about monetary, and the reason we brought up the monetary thing is because I guess today we also wanted to talk about richness, whether like, are we talking about is richness being happy or being from a cultured family? So that's the reason I said, you know, like monetary is important to certain extent, but not like becoming rich and just always like being, you know, being just like never being satisfied. So I would just say, being from a cultured family, making sure your kids grow up in a cultured family is very important. And I would say let's take a small example from the Ramayana. We all have heard about Ramayana stories from our childhood, right? So Rama and Sita, we all know about them, and we all know that Rama was on the right side, and he always went with good moral values, cultured values. Whereas Ravana, he was way richer. He had more powers. He had much more. But he was always dissatisfied. He wasn't happy. He wasn't ever happy with whatever he had. Always he was like wanted more and more and more, and he was ready to go by all wrong means or whatever he could do for it. So I would say our mythological gives us a very good example that I think being cultured is important. So giving a good environment for our kids, making sure they have good moral values. I would say a family where people are more compassionate towards each other, they support each other, they have like empathy for each other, they stand for each other. I mean, kids who are brought up in this kind of family will always like kind of they'll be more happy because they're there for each other. And these people, when they go out and they in their friends, in the society, they're going to reciprocate with the same moral values, and that's what. So if you have love, you can give love, and that's where you share it with a more larger audience, So I would say being in a cultured family is definitely more important.
Yeah. Prashant?
So I always tell my juniors and my family members or like my cousins and all, right, whenever they ask me some suggestions and all. So we need to understand that there is a thin line between the success and failure, right? That you need to understand that thin line. There are three groups, right? Lower, middle, and upper. Low, I mean, like people who are falling in that low category, they have nothing to lose, right? If they wanted to take a risk, they have nothing to lose. Or the people who are in the upper category, they're also nothing to lose. Even they lost or they failed, they're gonna stay at that level only, right? But the bounding box happens to the middle class, and that bounding box really helped me to make best out of me, I guess, because when I did my MS, when I entered into my PhD and all, it's not about the education. It's like what I came up with, like a lot of people, they say like in my company and my professor in University of California, Prashant, you are a very good problem solver and you had a very good networking skills. I'm not intelligent. As I said, like until 10th, I was a very dumb student. I'm not at all intelligent, but that problem solving approach and then my creativeness and my networking skill, that helped me to become a very successful person. And that bounding box which I was letting you know in the beginning of my conversation, that really helps me to make best out of me. The second point I wanted to raise, like people, they say like as Shreya said, like in that 3Ds dialogue, I know that dialogue, like if you follow your excellence and success will going to follow you as well. But at some limit, you have to decide at whatever the confidence you have, whatever the risk-taking ability you have to decide whether what excellence level you wanted to go, whether you still have that patience to go for another excellence or not. So another story is like when I was about to get married, right? I was looking for girls and all, right? So there was a girl in our society, and she saw like me in playing Congo and all. I was playing very fast Congo, and in orchestra, people used to get excited and all. And she once again, like we met like after so many years, like for a marriage meeting and all. And she said like, Prashant, you should have followed your passion. You are such a good drummer, like, and Congo player and all. Then I asked once, like, if I would have even followed my passion and would be in the middle level salary, right? What other from the orchestra from our school they achieved, would you come and meet me over here? No. And just give me your honest opinion. And she said no. But then why you are asking me to follow my passion, right? I'm good. Like I followed my father's footstep, like not footstep, father's advice, my teacher's advice, and that makes me best out of my bounding limits. I'm a very good problem solver. That's what I think. I'm always looking for problems, like with my coding skills, whether I can like solve others problems on the website, and try to upload like free coding codes on the website, like so that I can provide that kind of problem solving approach. And but that bounding box that really helped me to understand when my professor says that there is a thin line between that success and failure. And at that point, I'm very glad that I understand that thin line from success and failure.
And Prashant, I think you make a really good point. When you were talking about that relationship, when you met with that person, and she was like, "Well, you should have pursued your dreams," and you asked her, if I did, would you be here right now? Because I would have been in that middle class earning category. I think that's the part of society that I think we need to change. Right? Is that person should have said, yeah, I don't care what you do as a career, Prashant. That's not what attracts me to you, or that's not what makes me want to sit here and talk to you about marriage. What makes me want to sit here and talk to you about it is your personality and your, other types of, categories of things that maybe she could have listed out. The fact that she said, no, I probably wouldn't be here. I think that's exactly what, this topic today is about is why people within the society create these boundaries where people who are doing careers that are not at that high level are having to either have to marry someone that is not up to that level, or are getting judged in that sort of way. So thank you so much again for sharing another one of your experiences.
But being if you think practical side,
yeah,
that's how it's going in the society.
Absolutely. Yep. Tanvi, go ahead.
So I wanted to go off what Ashreya said, like from the very beginning, how success is about falling 9 times and getting up the 10th time. And this ties back to what I was saying about how the journey is like the main success, and how you failed 9 times, but you push yourself to get back up, and you like never gave up. And to do this, you need to have a good mindset, a happy mindset, a positive mindset. And this ties to what Prashant said in the beginning, how music is his happiness outlet. And I think everyone should have their own outlet of happiness, and mine is playing guitar. Your happiness outlet could be cooking, dancing, baking, spending time with your family. But at the end of the day, there should be something that helps your stress levels and makes you happy. And another thing I wanted to say was what Sapna said about being cultured. And me, as growing up in America as an Indian teen, like I remember in elementary school when my mom would give me like Indian food, like at the cafeteria, like everyone would be like staring at me weird. And I think it's important that you shouldn't be embarrassed of your culture, and instead you should embrace it. And you should like inspire others. Like now, like all my like American friends, like they wear crop lehengas and stuff, because like I share my culture with them and they share theirs with mine. And I think we should be like diverse and open to all cultures too. And another thing Prashant said is how it's important to listen to your father, like your parents, because I think that it's important, like as a teenager, like teenagers like usually like have their mind of their own. But for me, I think listening to your parents is the best choice. Like it might not seem like the best choice at the time, but at the end of the day, they have experienced more life than you. They do know better. They've been through more obstacles than you. And so they know what's best for you.
Absolutely. Good point, Tanvi. Yeah, Dr. Nisha? Oh, Dr. Nisha, I think you're on mute.
Sorry. So I think everybody's been talking about success in terms of what they do and how much money people make. I think end of the day, success also means how many lives you touch on a day-to-day basis, how empathetic you are to your neighbors, to your colleagues. How many of us know our colleagues right now, like how their life is going on, if they have any issues, if they can support with anything. I think to be able to be connected with your peers, with your colleagues, with your family, even in these times, is really important, and that should also define what success means to us.
Absolutely. Ashreya, I think you had a point as well.
All right. Yeah. So I actually wanted to touch on a few things that we kind of discussed. So a little bit kind of like taking it into a further context. So I understand that the majority of this conversation today is supposed to be focused around the concept of societal influence on profession and how that relates to success. But when we're putting out a broad question, like what's your definition of success, I do think a very important facet that we haven't really brought up yet, but considering how many different walks of life we have even in this conversation, I think it's important is to discuss success in the form of your role in your household and society, et cetera. So that's not just capped to what your profession is. For me right now, it's very important for me to be a successful daughter for my parents. And I'm going to be incorporating more roles in life as I progress. But that definition of success then, that I think ties a little bit more very closely to what we've been hearing more recently, especially from Dr. Nisha right now, about your impact on people and how you're able to shape others. And even what Tanvi was mentioning about how our parents and decisions and their perspectives continuously shape us and mold us as we're growing. That's kind of the mark of being a successful parent. So in that sense, we have to apply the word success in so many different ways that I'm kind of going back to what I was saying about the definition of success always changing depending on what walk of life you're in at the moment. But I just thought the conversation would be incomplete without kind of addressing this facet of success in a role, not simply success in a profession.
Very good point, Ashurya. Thank you so much. And Murli?
So yeah, one of the point, Ashreya said, actually, that was very good. What she said was, we all ignored the monetary part of it, because when you talk in a, what to say, in a political point of view, people always shy away from saying, oh, money is not related to success, only just happiness or health. Yes, definitely money is also, because see, if you see any successful people in the society, right, whoever you tell your role model, at the end of the day, they're like either a celebrity and they're also earning very well. So, you also, let's say, you say you want to go on a vacation tomorrow. You need money for that, right? You don't want to look at the money. But I'm not saying just because of that, always keep running behind money. But I want to appreciate her for telling that money is definitely a part of it. You can't just, sit in a hut and say, I'm happy. Yes, you can say for a day or two, but, let's think about it, practically, you want money for that. But for that, yes, you need to work hard and you need to be happy during the process. One of the main point Dr. Nisha said, like how many lives you touch, like even if you feed one homeless person today, you will feel so happy. And, tomorrow seeing that your friend may do the same, that's also in the longer run is very good. And one more thing, I really liked what Vaishnavi said. She said, don't compare yourself with others, which is absolutely true. And once you start comparing, even whatever you're doing in your life, even if you're doing good thing, even if you're actually successful, you think you're just waste because you're comparing each and everything with the other person, and you feel like everything is happening to them easily and you're struggling a lot. So like comparison literally kills the positive and happy mind. And one more thing I wanted to actually tell, Prashant told that, the parents will say, oh, how many people are there? You want to be this, you want to be that. I have heard this dialogue all through my life. I'm not saying that it's a new dialogue to me, but I totally don't agree with that. To me, if I told my friend, okay, I'm applying for this beauty contest, I'm applying for this, they would have said, okay, do you think you will win? Do you know how many people are there? Do you think you can be one of them? If somebody had told that to me or to all the participants here, I don't think most of them would have applied and come and sat here. I know it's very hard. It's very easy to say everybody can't be, Sabyasachi or Manish Malhotra, but we have to first try. And if you say at the first step, oh, you can't be this, I'm telling you, we will never, ever be that. I have seen success stories of so many people. Like even, do you guys all know Rajkumar Rao, the actor? You guys have to check out his YouTube video on how he said how many years he struggled, to get into these movies, and like how many people rejected him for his looks, height, saying you can never be a main hero. When you hear such stories, right? I know that not everybody, like Rajkumar Rao suffered, but doesn't mean that everybody has to suffer. Now, for example, Alia Bhatt had it easy, right? But then it is your talent which will keep you running in the longer run, right? So you can say, oh my God is so like unfair, like what to say, unfair to me. right? That's why people say life is kind of fair, because you may have to struggle a little bit more to achieve something which the other person may seem to have a little bit easier, but that doesn't mean you cannot have it or you can never have it. So yeah, thank you.
Prashant?
So, just like my parents left like 1 or 2 months back, and he was here due to COVID-19, like from past 1 year. Like, and we always had a discussion like about my passion and all. And I told my father that you forced me to become engineer or doctor. Now I'm with my son. I won't do that. I will let him follow the passion. And one of the panelists, I think Rashmi or Sapna or Vaishnavi, one of them, they said like they will allow their son or their kids to follow their passion, right? But one of the touching moment, like my father said, he was not in that position to let me take a risk, but he said like I'm in that to take a risk. If he's going in a bad direction, you have the money and you can correct that, you can correct like his path, right? But at that time my father said like I was not in that position. I only had my one son, so I wanted you to follow in a right direction. And that really touches me, like growing in my career, like. And then I thought like I could have become a good surgeon like as well, and I build up that engineering and coding and all. Then I thought like no, I can, because right now I'm helping some doctors to automate their work and all, right? So so I over the period I build the interest of becoming a surgeon. I wish I could have been like my father could have had that money and like and become a surgeon, but I really built that interest in surgeon. I do a lot of my favorite time pass is like get into YouTube and see a lot of surgeries, like how they work and how you can be a good problem solving approach through your coding skills. And then I told my father like, yes, you are right, like you are not in that position to take me that risk. And I think like now if I want to give I will see like how my son is following his career or career path. But from inside I wanted to see him a good surgeon, because I was not able to become a good surgeon. I know like I am a very old thought process, but that's how I am. Like sometimes I know, like as Shreya said, go for excellence, and the success will gonna come and all. But after listening to my father, I always say to my father, I wanted to see my son as a good surgeon, but I will see like what career path he's going to follow. And as per that, I will decide that.
Vaishnavi?
Hi, Kunjita. I just want to put 2 points. One is like I want to appreciate Swapna, as she said, like she'll allow her kids to go whatever they like, not to like push them in something else which she want. So that is really appreciable, and that really brings, even in your child's life, they will get success 100% when there is a parent support, right? They'll definitely achieve. Second thing, has merely Xavier said, you know um, regarding the Alia Bhatt and Rajkumar, for Alia Bhatt it was easy, and for Rajkumar he struggled. Sometimes I feel like there will be family background also, that makes one person's life easy or hard, you know. So if you, I mean, I'm telling to everyone whoever watching the live, if you're like middle class, or like, I don't want to differentiate. If you think your family is really struggling, and if you think your family needs some support, then definitely give them the support. That is even the success. Giving support to your family, giving whatever they want, till they get settled, the way you help them, that is where half of the way you became success. I mean, you achieved something like a goal, right? So that's one of the success, what I call. And also, I agree. I don't know what to tell as Prashant said, like I'm I am an old I mean, my mindset is a little bit like old generation, so that's the reason I definitely want my kid to be a surgeon. I'm telling you, I mean, you are elder to me, but still, I'm telling you, if your child wants to become a surgeon, then only, I mean, you move him into that path. Else, people right now, there are a lot of people suffering with stress, and you end up nowhere with that stress. If your child is like okay, if he's happy, then that's great. But if it is creating a lot of stress in him, by end of the day, not only him but also you, who is going to suffer, I mean, even parents who are going to suffer when when you see the child is suffering, obviously the parent suffers, right? So don't think like I didn't do it. I want to push that to my child. I know there is a lot of generation gap between you and me, but now the generation is changing. Even in this generation right now, in the olden days, people, I mean our elders, they used to give us some tips. They used to tell us like you have to save some amount because you never know what situation comes, and you need to use that. So that's true, I accept that. But now the generation is changing. I mean, if you have a very good background, and if your child wants to go with what he wants, support him. At least make him success in his life. I mean, you already succeeded by settling and all. Allow him with a passion. That's what I want to tell.
I
Prashant? Yes, go ahead.
I just wanted to add a funny moment into it. Whatever Vaishnavi said, like it's true, but being as a parent, like because I lost my first son, but this is my second son. But being as a parent, like it is very difficult if you see like your son or your daughter like struggling in her career path, and then realize that if he would have been followed my advice, then he would have been in better shape. So just as I wanted to add, I know like I'm a very practical guy, and as per all the panelists, I'm totally wrong. But I just wanted to add one funny moment, like with my son, that I gave him. My wife is like, no, let him build his own career. We will support him and everything. So then I don't wanted to argue with my wife, and then I said like I brought like one medical box like with all the stethoscope, injections like for the baby, right? And I started like, and he was seeing that injection every morning. He's giving me the injection. He's checking me like all the heart rate and all. And then I bought a whole body, like where you can see all the intestine. And he was seeing where he's just 19 months. And I said like, where is the liver? Here is the liver. That's, and then, and I told my wife, I will create such an environment that his interest will bring. If he is not growing in that interest, then he can follow his advice. But being as a parent, I wanted him to follow in a right direction, so that his passion, if he can build his passion towards that, it's well and good. He can earn a good amount of money. But if he's following that other direction, I will also watch him, like whether he's going in a better direction or not, because I don't want him to suffer like 13 years, 14 years just to build and get to that excellence point. Sorry, like I'm always like I think my thought process is old as per all the panelists, but I just apologize to you. That's how my thought process are.
No need to apologize, Prashant. I think that's what brings such a uniqueness to this platform and to this debate, right? Is everyone has their own unique thought processes. And, Prashant, I don't think you're wrong in any perspective at all, because I think, you're just trying to look out for your child to make sure they don't end up falling 10 times, so that way they can succeed for the 11th. Your goal as a parent, and I think a lot of the parents, is to have the minimal amount of failures for their child, so they have to struggle a lot less, and maybe have maybe one or two failures, or maybe no failures at all. What parent wants their child to fail in order for them to grow? But I think just life in general brings a lot of failures in and out of your life, right? And so I think you're just the perspective that you bring is very unique, and is not wrong in any perspective. You're being very honest, and I definitely do appreciate that honesty, and you sharing that part of the perspective, even if it's different from everyone else. So thank you for that, Prashant. Tanvi?
So I can connect to Prashant actually. So like my family back in India and my parents, they also wanted me to become a doctor. And they used to like, well, this was when I was like in elementary school. They used to like push me. They're like, oh, you should become a doctor. You should become a doctor. And then one day, like my parents, they just stopped caring. But when they were pushing me, that sparked an interest in me. So like fortunately for them, I am interested in that. And over the summer, like I taught elementary schoolers, like I gave them medical class and I taught them about human anatomy. So like now it's kind of like my own interest. So I'm glad that my parents like pushed me in the beginning, but now it's just me. And I can also go off what Vaishnavi and Murli said about family background. And how like some people say like, oh, my family's like, we don't have enough money, so I can't become a doctor, or I can't do this, I can't do that. But I think that you can't make excuses for yourself. So you can't use family background as an excuse to why you can't reach your goal or ambition. Like if you want to do it, you should do it. Like you have to try for it, you have to work for it. So you should just accept what state you're in, and you have to push yourself. Like if you want it, get it. And I also want to go to Nisha. Nisha said that how like making an impact on others is like really important, and I also think being successful is part of making like an impact on others. And so I also have a nonprofit organization. It's called the Dollar Destiny, and we collect money and we do fundraisers and we buy food, and we, like I've fed like 28 families before, like last year, and like it just feels good to like help other people. Like I'm fortunate enough to have enough money to help other people, and I'm using my own platform, my school, to feed other families in need. So yeah, I think you should use what you have to help others and not just for yourself.
That's a great point. Thank you, Tanvi. Ashreya, I think you also had something to say.
Yeah, I may have got a little lost in the sea of comments, not gonna lie. But I mean, I guess overarchingly, I kind of wanted to respond to Prashant about and kind of address also what Vaishnavi was suggesting about a generation gap. I don't necessarily think that this ideology of parents influencing and providing inspiration and guidance for their children is necessarily something that differs between generations at all. I think it's actually more of a definition of parenting to be able to be a guiding force in their child's life. So to me, it sounds like Prashant is doing precisely that, trying to be a guiding force for his son. And I think that that's something that we're very lucky to have in our lives as we grow. And it's something that sometimes we take for granted, but it's definitely a stepping stone towards ensuring that longer journey to be fruitful at the end of it. But no, Prashant, I just kind of wanted to respond to kind of substantiate what Kunjita was already saying to you. It's definitely not a wrong perspective by any means. I don't think you have anything to be apologetic for. But as a matter of fact, I think it definitely sounds like you're building off of what I was indicating earlier, which is success as a role and your role as a parent in this case.
Thank you.
Vaishnavi?
Oh.
Yeah, so I don't know, whatever I said, it got connected properly or not. I just wanted to clearly say it again. What I said to Prashant is like, if your child is going with a passion, okay, go, let him go. Or if it is that if the surgeon is a passion, just let him go with that. I just told like, do not only for Prashant, for everyone, what I'm saying is like, don't make your child feel stressed. That's the only thing that's the only point I'm making. I mean, for the success, you just don't need to get stressed out. I mean, to achieve that success, no, I mean, you have to be happy. Stress will create a lot of problems in us. So that's what I wanted to tell, but nothing else. Yeah, I'm not a parent, you are a parent, you know more than me. So if I said anything wrong, I'm sorry about that. Second thing, I want to say to Thanvi or Shri, yeah, she was telling about the background thing, family background. I didn't say that. She said like we should not have excuses when you want to become a doctor. I mean, she said like, when my friends say, why can't you become a doctor, because my family cannot, it I mean, we don't have money. I didn't say background about that. I said background in such a way like, if your family needs you, if your family needs you and you are just going with your passion, that is not correct. If your family needs you, first support them. That is also one type of success. Then you can go with your passion. That's what I meant about the family background.
Yeah, and again, Vaishnavi, I think I don't think you need to be apologetic at all. I think this platform is and the space is just for us to be able to have those open dialogues and conversation. And I completely agree, and I think everybody here agrees too. It's the concept that you're bringing is, if your child is not passionate about something that they're trying that you want them to do, don't force them to do it. Which is not what Prashant was trying to say. What Prashant was doing was just trying to, like Ashreya was saying, being that guiding light, being that parent, just to kind of guide the child in a certain direction. So that way, when they do get older, they have a choice and they have a well-versed amount of choice, right? So, what Prashant also alluded to was the fact that, he would want his child to, explore different realms and different fields to get an idea of what their passions are. And if that child's passion if his son ends up liking something else, then him and his wife would definitely be supportive of that. So I think Vaishnavi, you make a really good point. Is parents definitely shouldn't pressurize their children to be in a certain career just because they want them to be. But as they're growing older or as they're a child, giving them the tools to be able to learn about different careers and learn about different creativity roles as well, like painting or drawing or dancing and singing and doing those extracurricular activities will just allow that child to have a large amount of experience and be able to exactly see where their passion is driven by, right? Go ahead, Prashant.
No, actually, I wanted to share two stories. Like, I always tell my cousins that you should always have your other alternative ready. The reason why I'm saying that, when in 1998, like we used to live in a hostel, and there was a guy who was trying for IIT exams and other medical entrance exam in India, if you know the entrance exams. And he was not getting into any entrance exam. Even though he was continuing his engineering, he was not happy with that, and he was still trying for entrance exams and all, but he didn't get, like, for 2 years, and that guy committed suicide. And I was telling, like, him every day that, man, just look for other alternative. If you can't get into IIT or any other entrance exam or any other banking exam, that's not an end of life. But I still remember that guy. Like, I didn't see him, like he just came in front of the bus and he committed suicide because he was thinking like he's failing and his parents are not proud of him and all, because he was overthinking. And I always tell my cousins or any of the who wanted to hear my comments that always have, like, your second alternative ready. And my second story is, like, as I don't know, like, 1 minute. As Tanvi said, like, she has, like, from as she's very young now. I'm not old too. I'm just 40 now. Because Vaishnavi said, I think generation gap. Vaishnavi, I'm not too old though.
I apologize for that.
So, right from the childhood, as Tanvi is having, like, the helping poor people and all, I'm also belongs to some village town area, and growing, that feeling is really good. But once you get into all your professional and all, right, and you want to help them, because in 2012 I started helping 160 kids for their education and daily food, school fees, health, going to the doctor. So I was paying from my own pocket. Then it was getting heavy on me. Then I was asking help to other people, like friends, family members and all, right? And I reached to one point that the family members or relatives or friends, they were avoiding my calls, my emails and all, because if Prashant is calling them, that means he's going to ask me for the money. Then when I lost my son, and then I was whistling in the car, and one of my friends said, Prashant, you really good whistler. And from that point, and my professor accepted one of my script, like, for a student. and he paid me. And that's how like my whole passion, right, for whistling or writing a script for movies. I also sold my one script for sci-fi as well. So that extra money, like now I'm able to help them out rather than asking the help from other people. And I was, as I said, I was into that point, like nobody was liking me. And as soon as they received the call from me, they was not picking up and they were avoiding my emails and all, even though my intention was not to get the money from them, like just to reach out to them. Hi there, how are they? Because I wanted to build good networking skills, like, because that is also one thing. Even though charity starts from home within yourself, but I was trying to go in a different direction to get the help from some other peoples, and also that I can reach out to the larger people and meet their educational. I wanted to have those kids like engineer, doctors and all. 4 of them became engineers also. But the whole thing is that now I'm using my passion to raise that money for them, like to build their career. And even though my salary is coming, but the whole passion, I'm using that passion now, because I don't want it to grow as like career and get the promotion and all. No, I am satisfied now where I am right now, and I want to take this whatever the passions I had like in my 10th grade. Now I want to take that passions to generate that kind of fund, so that I can help them out rather than depending on other people.
Absolutely. And we'll just go over Dr. Nisha and Sapna, and then we will have to wrap it up. I know this topic is so...
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. I know this topic is so in depth, and it's such a large topic. It's hard to condense all of it in such a short period of time. So we'll go to Dr. Nisha and then Sapna, and then we'll wrap it up.
Sure. I would definitely like to say, Prashant sir, what are you doing? You're doing best as a father. And I could totally relate to that. When my dad brought this discussion up to me, like what I want to do, I said, I want to be a doctor. And he said, like, okay. And I kind of cleared my merit exam for dentist, like for dental surgeon, like dental medicine and all that. We said, do you really want to like do that? Like, you know, and I think based upon what he hasn't heard in society, or you can look at people's mouth, you know, and this kind of like thought brought the process again that he pushed me in nursing. I think it was a lot of stress. But again, I'll say, after I did my nursing, I went for my master's. So I did master's in HR, and I was not satisfied with myself what I'm doing, because I felt like in heart of heart, I was a passionate person who wanted to care for people, who wanted to love being around people, and I wanted to give, you know, in a selfless manner. And I think that stress from my undergrad coming to grad made me shine in a bright, you know, as they say, coal goes under stress and becomes a diamond. That's what exactly happened. I did not know my dad was talking about stability in terms of my career in that point. But when I'm today, as when I see as myself, I feel like, oh gosh, like my dad had a long-term vision for me. So none of the parents would want their kids to fail ever. They want the best for the kid. They know what they have the capabilities, you know, and where they can shine the most. So you're doing the right thing. You're doing the best. And I think as a parent, you know, nobody else can understand and wish for your best except for your own family. So all the best for your kids, and you know. And
I always said like to create the environment for your kids, like whether you like some small equipments and all, create the environment for them, and then from there they can take it further. That's what my point is.
Absolutely. And Sapna?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not going to say anything different than what everybody's saying here. On the Prashant's point, like, yes, you're doing the right thing, you're doing the best thing. I would probably do the same thing. Like, that's what we're supposed to do as a parent: give our kids the environment and try to create the curiosity in the right direction that we can. So you're doing the best for your kid. I guess what Vaishnavi is also trying to bring the point here is about stress. And these days, mental health is definitely a very important issue. So we should not ignore that. And which is good. You said, you know, Prashant, you said that you'll support your kid if he wants to go in a different direction, which is great. So let's as a parent, I think we should also remember to say that, to tell our kids that I'm proud of you. We're proud of you. And no matter what they do, you know, and motivate them for whatever they're doing. And I think that's easier when they're younger, but it gets more harder, you know, as they grow and as they keep growing as a teenager or then they go in college. So I guess to Prashant's another story, I think that was an issue where he felt that, you know, his parents are not proud of him. So I think it's important to make sure our kids' mental health is also important, and make sure we tell them we love you and we're always proud of you no matter what they do.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point, especially, an ending comment. I think, Sapna, you did a really good job in just summarizing everything that we talked about today and how this topic touched upon so many different areas. We went from like society, dictating where someone goes from a career perspective, from pressure, from whether it's societal pressure or family pressure, to all the way to mental health. And I think that's how big this topic is. I know we can all sit here and talk about these topics for hours to come, but I think the key thing, that we all talked about today, and for the viewers to take away with is, it's really important to listen to what people are saying or hear what things are going on. But the key thing is to really follow what your passions and your dreams and what exactly it is that you want to achieve, and go for that. As parents, the parents are always going to want their children to be as successful as, someone like Manish Malhotra, or be like those top in whatever it is that they do. And I think that's something that every child should admire about their parents, because the parents is always going to not want you to fall for 10 times or 11th time and get up. They're just wanting you to fall once or not fall at all and be able to become that successful person without falling. And I think admiring that and appreciating that is a key thing. And I mean, we've touched on so many different points today. So, to all the viewers that are watching this, thank you so much for joining us for this debate. I hope you guys learned as much as we all did about the topic and about, just life in general, and about journeys and the definition of success and what that really means. And maybe you guys as viewers will take that back and sit back and maybe think to yourselves, or, talk with your wives or your family or your children or your parents about what your definition of success is, and what you guys think, what you guys feel is how society influences that definition. And if did you guys experience that, and if you did, comment below. Tell us how you feel. Tell us what you've been through. We would love to, continue this debate and continue this conversation via chat. It would be great to continue this conversation. So thank you so much to all the participants for joining us tonight. Good luck on your competition. You guys are great. You guys are kings and queens already. You guys are stars. So thank you so much for joining and sharing your opinions and your thoughts. And I hope you guys had a great time. Thank you.